Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday night and my new time at 6:30 Pacific, I am doing a technique with you. So I've been kind of moved them around to jump on a little later than I had been going live. So now it's 6:30 p.m. Pacific, both on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then 11 a.m. on Saturday and 12 noon on Sunday. So hopefully you can join me for all or some of those times during the week. So tonight, I've been promising this for a while. I played with the Hearts and Hugs bundle, which is the cutest little bundle with the adorable little critters in it. And so I talked about thinking that this stamp set is a perfect stamp set for masking using the masking paper that we have. And so tonight's the night. I think the one night I was going to do it, I wasn't feeling well. And so I missed it. So tonight's the night I'm going to do some masking. And so I thought I would make kind of a group hug with the badger, the gerbil, I think it's a gerbil, and the mouse. And so we'll see how it goes. But hopefully you'll get the idea of what masking is. Hey, Holly, welcome. Glad you could make it. All right, I'm going to switch over. Okay, so let's get this down just a bit. Oh, no, the other way. There we go. Okay, so this is the Hearts and Hugs bundle. It is so adorable. Look at this. Oh my gosh. These little critters. And then there are dies that go with them. So there are the dies for the critters. And then you've got some standalone dies with some stems, flowers, hearts. I'm going to use, where did the one go that I decided to use? Oh, this one. It makes a kind of a semicircle. Let's get back in the camera. There we go. Semicircle of hearts, but I just cut out the hearts, or cut 7 hearts out. And so I'm just going to use those as standalone. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the masking because that's the piece that this is really focusing on. And so we have, Stampin' Up! Has masking paper that looks like this. So it's 5 by 7. It's got a slit in the middle. And it's this other side that is the back of this other side is the sticky side. So when you're masking something, I went ahead and stamped the badgers because what you need to do is decide which image is going to be the focal point of your of your card or your project. And that's the one you need to stamp first. And then, hey, Connie, welcome. And then you're going to cover that up with the masking paper and stamp over it to get the other pieces to your image. So I decided the badgers were going to be my focal point. So I stamped that image on the masking paper using tuxedo black. It doesn't have to be, but I just had that handy. Then I cut it out with a die. But one of the things that you want to make sure when you're using masking paper and you're doing masking is when you cut it out. So even though I'd cut it with a die, I went around it with my paper snips, trying to get as close as possible to the actual line, if not even taking that part of that black line off. The closer you are, the better it is, because then you don't get a gap between your stamped images. When you stamp your other image, it will get right up against it. And we'll see how well that works for me tonight. But so you do want to, if you punch out an image or you die cut an image, you do want to make sure that you get in with your paper snips and trim that even closer, and even take a little bit of the black line off. Okay, so I have a piece of basic white. I'm going to die cut this when I'm done, but I've got a piece of basic white. Now, my badgers are going to be the center of my card, or at least the focal image. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about this stamp, I think I explained this, so you can see that these 2 images have got holes in the center. And they are separate. They're little pieces of rubber that you pull out. Don't keep them in there, because if you stamp with them in, when you ink up your stamp, you can get ink on that little section. And then when you stamp it, the belly of the gerbil or the badgers is going to have ink on it, and you don't want that. So take those cut pieces of rubber out and you will get a nice image that doesn't have extra ink in the middle. All right, so I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp my badgers using Tuxedo Black Memento. Now, the masking paper, I'm going to take and put this on. So you just peel it off. I made sure I got ink on my nail. I had the slit in the middle. Now, this is really sticky. So take it and rub it on your arm, on your jeans, something to take the stickiness out or off. So you don't want it to be really sticky because it will, you can, if you're not careful, tear your paper. And so I've taken some of that stickiness off. You know what? I got a halo and I'm not happy about that. I'm going to stamp that again. You guys may not be able to see that, but I can. So let's try not to get a halo. Let's stamp that in the middle again. That's better. Maybe it's the paper. No, that's the paper. I had a halo on the other one. Okay, so then I'm going to take and put my masking paper, the image, over it. Now I'm not pressing. You're not, yeah, you need to do the fussy cutting around it. So it's not sticking really well, and that's perfect. You're not trying to glue this on, so don't press it down hard. Just kind of, I'm just kind of, you know, not even pressing it in really. Okay, so I've got my masking. So this is kind of going to be kind of a group hug. And so I'm going to take and I'm stamping my mouse so that only part of the mouse is going to show. So he looks like he's just kind of peeking from behind the badgers. And then my gerbil is the same. I'm just going to have him kind of peeking from behind the badgers. So when I take that masking paper off very gently, and what I often do is just kind of almost take it back on itself, but it's really lost a lot of its stick, and that works perfectly. If you have too much stick on this, you can tear your paper, and this is still good. So I just store these in my stamp case so that when I want to do it again, group hug, yeah. So I've got my little mouse peeking out, and you can see my stamped images are right up against each other. If you don't cut right up against that line on your masking paper, you can get a gap here, and it kind of looks like it. I don't know, it's a gap, and you want this to be stamped right up against it. Okay, so now you're going to have to watch me do some coloring because we're going to do a little bit of coloring. I'm not going to go too fussy on it. I am going to use Pebbled Path for my badgers. I actually don't, I think badgers are kind of a browny gray color. So this is the light Pebbled Path. They may be black, but this is hopefully dark enough. It's kind of hard. They're all kind of the gray color, and so I didn't know what I wanted to use for it. It's been a long time since I've seen a badger. We used to, I grew up in Alberta, and we used to have badgers on the acreage we lived on. You always had to be careful because they dug really big holes. And so if you were wandering along and not looking what you were doing, you could trip or catch your ankle down one of these badger holes. All right, so I'm just kind of coloring, trying to be a little careful and not go over. I guess the whole thing can be done. I don't know what color a snout on a badger is. All right, I'm not going to do a ton of blending on this, but a little bit. Yeah, Connie, you have to play with this and then find out some really cute images like this that work well to be to be kind of peeking from behind, or or trees. If you've got something with a tree and you want to put something in front of it, for example, if you've got the truck stamp, it's got a tree on it, and so you could use that one and put the truck in front of the tree. That works really well. And watch what you're doing, Melva. Get talking and you don't concentrate. I'm going to have my badgers have little pink ears. Okay, so as always, I have laid down dark or a full thing of the dark, and now I'm going to go over it and add some dark. Sorry, did I say dark? I've laid a whole thing of the light pebbled path on it. Yeah, I think it's kind of grizzly. So pebbled paths seem to be, although I don't know, sometimes grizzlies are reddish in color, but we're going to stick with the pebbled path. All right. And I probably have this all wrong because I have a feeling that I don't know where the dark and the light are on the badger, but that's okay. It's mine. I'm going to use my artistic license here. Ooh, this feels very dark. My poor badger, you're hardly seeing the eyes anymore. So they're going to be really dark, but that's okay. Hopefully it lightens up as it dries. Just kind of fading out some of those lines. All right, my badgers are very dark. That's not so good, but anyway, you get the idea. All right, this is Calypso Coral. Don't want that. Let's do pink. This is Bubble Bath. So let's do just the inside of the ears. Bubble Bath. All right, let's do something lighter. So let's do our little mouse in Smoky Slate to lighten it up. And he's holding on to a heart. So we'll make the heart Melon Mambo just to give this card some color because it's really dark. And my badgers are not really looking like badgers, I have to say. That didn't work so well. I should have looked one up online before I started coloring. Okay, so let's give him some pink ears and a little pink nose, and let's do my gerbils with the pink ears before I put that away. And then my heart I'm going to do in Melon Mambo. Like that. Okay, now I've got crumb cake for my gerbil. Probably would have been good to do a little bit of crumb cake on my badger or Smoky Slate, perhaps. There's a tail there that I forgot. Yeah, you can't really see my the face on my badgers. Hey, Carol, welcome from New Brunswick. Nice to have you. Getting late there. All right, and then let's do some dark. I'm kind of rushing this, but that's okay. Just kind of let's make his feet, his hand. He's only got one hand showing now that I've tucked him behind the badgers. This was more about the technique of masking than coloring, clearly. Okay, so there we go. Yes, Tanya, I'm thinking. Hey, Nancy, welcome. So there we go. There's the gerbil is tucked behind the badger, as is the mouse. So I'm going to take, these are the perennial postage dies. So I'm just going to take and cut that out using this one quickly. Definitely have to look and see what color a badger is when I finish, because definitely not the color I've got them. Okay, so I've cut this out using the perennial postage die, and then I have Misty Moonlight. So this is a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock cut 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And as always, fold into the mountain or the raised line. Color lifter. Oh, Joy, you are brilliant. Let's do some color lifter on this badger. I showed this the other day. Let's do some color lifter. So this is it kind of moves the color around. So I'm just kind of pushing it almost. There we go. We've got definitely works. Thank you so much. I used it the other day and talked about it and then promptly forgot. So let's actually take some of this, just kind of pushing the color away from the face so he's not quite so dark, because I definitely got carried away. There. All right, it's not perfect, but it's a little better, a little lighter in the face, but you get the idea. Okay, so this is the piece of designer series paper from the Country Lace. It's part of the Country Flowers, Country Woods suite. And I thought that, no, I'm going to use that one. This is kind of basic beige. Looking for my glue, which is gone astray. There it is. All right, I'm gonna change my mind because I look at my embellishments and I grabbed the basic gray and smoky slate embellishments, so it will go better with this. All right. So I do need a sentiment, but I'll put that on. So I'm going to put this on, pop this up with dimensionals. You can see, I usually say to people, don't forget when you're coloring to make sure you have grid paper down, or definitely don't be coloring on your card stock that you're going to use on your card, because you can see it soaks through because of the alcohol. Okay. Get that on. Maybe by the time I get my my sentiment on, where is, okay, I think I'm going to use this. So I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight. And where is my stamp set? I'm going to figure out a sentiment. There's some really cute sentiments that you can actually combine together. So I'm going to use this one, Sending a Big Hug, because that's what this is, with all of the little animals. So I'm going to stamp that on this Misty Moonlight cardstock using Tuxedo Black. And then, so you can punch it out. You could use a die in my typical fashion. I'm going to fussy cut it. Oops. I'm going to put that right over my badgers because the coloring is so bad that I'm going to cover them up just a bit, and that might help. I found a bunch of these pieces of my dimensional sheets where I've got just extra around the edge that I'm trying to use up. And that one I cut too long. There we go. So I'm going to put that right there over top. Oh, that's quite dark too, but okay, we're in a dark mood today, but I have a whole bunch of melon mambo hearts. So maybe that will brighten this card up. So when I cut them out, so I didn't lose them, I took and stuck them onto glue dots. So I'm just going to take and stick some hearts on. That's a little brighter. There we go. 3. Come on. 4. Trying to hide my badgers. Can you tell that? Okay, and then these ones. I used my wrong piece of cardstock. Let's trim this. So this one for the inside of the card should be 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we'll just trim that. And we're just going to take these last 2 hearts and stick them down in the bottom right corner. Come on. Doesn't want to come off of the, there we go, glue dot. I may do some more attacking of my badger with this color lifter when I'm finished, because they're still feeling a little bit dark, but the color lifter really helps. So thank you, Joy, for that suggestion. There we go. Oh, I forgot the embellishments after all of that. So let's add some. These are the smoky slate. I had to buy some because I'm using them for an upcoming class. So that's why I've got so many in there. All right, so I'm going to use the smoky slate ones. These are really nice. They're the smoky slate and basic gray pearls. Okay, there we go. Cute card. Badger's a little funky in color, but you know, you get the idea with the masking. So don't forget, when you are masking, figure out what your focal image will be, and that's the first one you stamp, and that's the one that you want to create the mask for, because you want to cover that as you're stamping your other images. Depending on what you're doing, you may want to mask multiple of them. So your gerbil could have gone on, you know, this side, and then the mouse on that's the right side of it, and so you would have had to create a mask for the gerbil as well. So you do have to think a little bit about what needs to be covered up as you're getting ready to do this. And the big trick to this is, once you've stamped your image, make sure that you trim it really close to the edge of that image, so that you don't get you get the images butted right up against each other without separation. I hope that makes sense. When you try this, if you don't cut close enough, you will definitely notice there's just like a 1/16 of an inch of gap where there's no stamping, and that's the effect you get when you don't trim it close enough. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Despite my poor attempt of coloring a badger, I am going to go and look up online and see what color badgers are for the next time that I color it. The card is very cute. I agree. Those little critters are so adorable that I can't resist it. How could you resist that? All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, Saturday I won't be live because we have a stamp camp going on. If you've heard of the Creativity Abounds stamp camp, this is our second one of the year. We're using the country birdhouses. And so I will not be live on Saturday because everybody will be very busy with all of the projects. Everybody ends up with 26 projects at the end of this, 13 make and takes and 13 bonus projects. So it's a very fun event. So I won't be live on Saturday, but I will be live on Sunday. So come join me at 12 noon on Sunday for another project. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. Happy stamping. Bye.